Greetings watchers and welcome to a new video. As you can see, I'm in my human form at the moment because I'm doing something a little different today. If you've seen my favorite YouTubers list, and if you haven't, click it. But if you had seen it, you would know that Ariel Voltaire was on that list. And in one of his videos, he pointed out areas to find particular decorations and stuff for your house. One of which are small festivals that sell all kinds of stuff for alternative lifestyles like little knickknacks and decorations and art. And as luck would have it, Michigan has one of these known as the Festival of Oddities. It's a giant alternative lifestyle festival found in Charlotte, Michigan, and takes place around September. This is apparently only the second year running, and season found this by complete accident just looking at festivals. But we liked the idea of it, so we decided to go check it out. And I honestly liked it so much that I want to show you what these festivals are like. But before we begin, I do want to offer up two disclaimers. One, yes, we got permission from the stalls before I filmed anything here, because in this house we drink the Respect the Artist juice. I would honestly suggest you always do this whenever you go to any convention to get permission before you film their stalls and stuff for any B-rolls. I also do my best to credit them as best I can, leaving their Etsy, Twitter, and all that stuff, or even their Instagram down below, just in case there's anything that catches your eye. Disclaimer 2 is meant to be more of a trigger warning, as these festivals do offer up taxidermy services, so there are some taxidermy animals such as bones and skin and stuff. Rest assured though that all the animals shown in taxidermy died of natural causes and are ethically sourced. I do understand though that it might be upsetting and not for everyone, hence why I'm doing the description down below. And me, I'm fine with it as long as it's ethically sourced, and these are. Now with those two out of the way, let's just jump right into the oddity. So our day started at around 2 or so when we set off, while listening to Voltaire to get in the spooky mood. It was an hour and 40-minute drive, but the zombie prostitute kept us entertained. Meanwhile, Storm, who we met with there, only drove 40 minutes. That lucky man. When we got there, wow, there were a lot of stalls. I honestly loved all the aesthetic of the stalls. It almost looked like an old medieval-style market. I will also say that I loved the location as they were using the grounds of an old courthouse. It honestly added to the sort of Victorian vibe of the area. Not so much the food trucks, which were kind of standard fare. We settled on a fajita stall, and next door was a drink stand, and they actually used dry ice to try to give each of them a different culturally potion kind of effect. There were also skull-shaped ice cubes normally, but they were sold out by the time we got them. Sad joke noises. The drinks, however, more than made up for it. I got the spiced pear apple cider, which tasted exactly like you'd think fall would taste like if you could unhinge your jaw and eat it. Season, on the other hand, got the lavender lemonade, which tasted like spa drink. According to her, it was very subtle, but to me, all it reminded me of those Yoda sodas from those Star Wars cookbooks, if any of you had them. And Storm got a cherry lemonade. A bit gnomey, but it looked like blood, so I forgave him. Also, one thing of note, that right next door to where we were was a Viking throwing area. For just $5 a throw, you can throw an axe like a Viking. But anyway, with our bellies full, we headed off into the breach to look on everything that was on sale. It's kind of like a flea market for the macabre, gothic, and horror fans. Sure, things look normal at first, but around the time we saw these masks, we knew things were gonna get crazy. Starting with this small little taxidermy stall full of these frogs looking a little green, as well as field flowers and even teeth and bones. They even offered pet taxidermy. An odd service to impulse buy, but hey, I don't judge. I did get this awesome Japanese-inspired Wendy Boy shirt though from the stall. And a stall over, we met this little monster. His name is Jim and he will haunt my dreams forever, so now you get to see him. The skulls were cool though. But by far, we already came to one of my favorites really early on in this place. All these pictures were drawn by this one person and were on sale, from Spirited Away to just cool art in general. But this Junji Ito one was an instant favorite of mine and just gave me the biggest grin on my face. Another thing that made me happy was people walking their pets all day, like these little doggos. But also literally the fluffiest bunny I'd ever seen in my entire life. His name is Tribble and he is adorable fluffy baby. He was very photogenic.
Oh, Tribble.
Aw, Tribble. Oh, hi. You're really photogenic today.
It's perfect, man. Yes.
Speaking of animals, they even had a booth on kitten adoptions. See, it's not all macabre and horror on this place. They had some adorable little kittens that you could even take out and pet. They were too young to adopt, unfortunately, and kind of for the best because Season really wanted that black cat. Like, literally, I had to pry the cat away from her because she wanted to take it home.
Can I take him home?
Babe.
I know I promised no kittens will be taken home from this festival, but I can't make any promises now.
In fact, just to give you some context, by the time we got there, most of the cats had already been adopted at that point, and honestly, I think that's awesome. And while on the topic of cute things, I wanted to introduce you to these, because they literally made me go full Jaden animations. They are Plague Doctor plushies, and I instantly went, I need this in my life. And so here he is. This is my child now. His name is Wendell and I love him. You can expect him to appear on streams every once in a while, trust me. But alright, that's enough cute stuff. We're here for the odd stuff, so let's get back to some creepy stuff. Like this bowl full of jarred animals with like an ox. He looks a little cramped in there though. Side note though, there were even paranormal investigators selling books and findings, like this author here who investigated stuff all around Michigan. She was super nice and awesome, and I even considered getting her book, but I was already way over my budget, honestly. One thing I should note though that I didn't get to show here was that the court itself was even an attraction, the Sanatorium Museum. It was an admission fee, it was only $5, but we decided kind of against it. But for my research, I found that it's apparently a museum of cursed items and odd items from around the world. It even had a snake pit and a silent auction to sell the said items for charity. The only funny thing of note was these horror-themed areas that had creepy mechanical dolls like voodoo priests. They were moving unnaturally and they scared the crap out of Storm. As well as this booth that collected all kinds of horror movie memorabilia, I basically found my booth at this point. Like full-blown marquee posters of horror movies as well as small art pieces and frames. That's where we got this picture of Elvira as well as Frankenstein and the Bride. They even had DVDs, a Jason mask, and a full collection of horror comics including Rue Morgues. What I'm basically trying to say is that it was my kind of booth, especially since it was right next to a hearse. And yes, Season also wanted the hearse. And we basically ended the day listening to a live concert. Yes, this place even had live performers. This particular singer was singing stuff like Mozart and even Phantom of the Opera, and she had an amazing voice. I'm gonna go to the video.
She draws with a knife on these.
Nighttime sharpens, heightens sensation, darkness.
Hang on. Sorry. I'm not ignoring you. I want to get a little bit of this.
Silently the senses, bending their defenses.
One thing I didn't catch though, but I'm kind of glad I didn't for the sake of daddy YouTube not spanking me with demonetization, was a sexy, thick showgirl doing a bit of a dance in a leotard to some awesome music. There were honestly way more booths we wanted to see, but honestly by the time we got there, the festival was closing down. Yeah, side note, it's only open till 6, so I would recommend getting there as bright and early as possible. There's no admission fee for generally just walking around. The only thing that costs money to attend is the sanatorium. But I also want to give you guys a little feel on all the stuff we buy and the kind of stuff that's available there besides what we've shown. So here's a bit of a haul on what we all got. For one thing, Season got these awesome heart pendants. But besides the Plague Doctor plushie, the booth also had this Plague Doctor candle. They're called Creepy Kawaii, and this candle is actually awesome because it apparently contains a bunch of herbs that actual Plague Doctors used in their masks, such as black pepper, rosemary, and rose. And it smells amazing. It's honestly already in our kitchen. And I can also officially say that I've eaten Yeti and Basilisk meat. Though if you want the truth and actuality, these are just exotic meats named after mythical monsters. There was stuff like elf, which was venison, troll, which was alpaca, and mermaid, which was Hawaiian teriyaki pork. And the Yeti was yak and the Basilisk was gator. Honestly, they were pretty good. I mean, just look at my reaction to these. I kind of liked them, honestly. The Yeti had a nice little smoky flavor to them because it was andouille style. And the Basilisk almost had that fish taste, like that freshwater fish taste to it. But it wasn't a bad thing, honestly. They're pretty damn tasty, and apparently the place actually sells a sample pack of some of their meats. So again, link down below to that as well. Overall, this was honestly a very fun event to take part in. Everyone was super nice and sweet, and they even encouraged Season to continue experimenting with goth. They even completely understood her bad family history and didn't even need an explanation and besides that. As for me, I'm a horror guy, so of course I ate up all of this macabre stuff. This was basically my heaven for all things spoopy and spooky. I really do, honest to God, hope they do another one next year because this was exciting. And next year, I'll be sure to go to the sanatorium as well. So if you can, I recommend finding one in your area because this is the kind of stuff they would often have there. Or maybe next year, come on up. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this little experiment of mine. And if you really liked the video, make sure to hit the like button because it pushes through the algorithm in this sordid YouTube climate. And if you really liked the video, I do have a Patreon, so you can help me have a little more funding to make these videos even better. Thank you, loyal watchers one and all. I'm the Watchful One saying keep on watching. I'll see you guys next time.